In this video, I'm going to be telling you exactly what ingredients you need to make your own chicken feed, and stay tuned till the end because I'll be giving you your very first recipe to make your own chicken feed. Now, whether you are looking to cut down on feed expenses, give your chickens more of what they need, or looking into sustainable practices for prepping, making your own chicken feed can be a smart practice to possess. In this ultimate guide video of making your own chicken feed, you'll learn everything you need to know about your chicken's nutritional requirements and how you can meet them without purchasing commercial feed or supplements. So we've got you covered, whether it's basic poultry grain or chicken mash. So let's start off with talking about understanding chicken's nutritional needs. It's important to acknowledge the elephant in the room before we dig into the nutritional needs of our feathered friends. Chickens aren't what they used to be. We've been feeding our chickens commercial feed optimized for performance for a long time. Chickens have been bred for fast growth and commercial operations. What I'm getting at is chickens aren't as easy to feed as they used to be, and generally, it's all our fault. Luckily, some breeds are hardier than others, and these are the chickens you should consider if you want a more sustainable, eco-friendly flock. So the best breeds for self-made chicken feed are number 1, Orpingtons. Any of the following colors, buff, black, or lavender, are excellent breeds that is dual purpose and easy to please. The second option are Rhode Island Reds. They're prolific layers that won't complain or pick through the feed you've so lovingly mixed for them. And number 3, Easter Eggers. They're fantastic foragers and hardy chickens that can survive some of the toughest times. Now let's talk about a broiler versus a layer. Now you may have noticed I did not list any broiler chickens as one of the best chickens to feed a homemade feed mixture. Now this is because of their high protein dietary needs. You'd be running in circles trying to make sure Cornish crosses are getting what they need, and financially it probably wouldn't be worth it. On the other hand, layers still have protein needs, but they're not as dependent on it as the commercially bred broiler chicken. So let's make it easier on both you and your chickens and stick with breeds that are considered to be quite hardy and not overbred. Now, let's also talk about the difference between chicks and adults. This is just to mainly go through feeding adult chickens. However, a lot of the feed is going to also provide young chicks with the nutrition they need as well. Now, with that being said, you can always add more protein to a developing chick's diet to help them grow to be healthy and strong. So let's go through the general nutritional needs. You don't want to cut corners when making your first batch of chicken feed. For a well-rounded diet, your chickens will need the following nutrients in their poultry grain mix. The first one is carbs. Carbohydrates help give your chickens plenty of energy, something they need to keep warm in the winter and keep scratching in the summer. Number 2 is fat, another energy source. Fats keep your chickens' bodies in prime operating condition. And number 3, protein. Muscles need protein to synthesize and repair. Number 4 is vitamins. Everyone needs an extra boost of vitamins to grow and develop, and chickens are no exception. Both vitamins and minerals are essential for layers and meat chickens. And lastly, minerals. Minerals contribute to normal body systems and functioning to help your chicks grow into happy, healthy adults. Now, keep in mind, these are just the basics. Your chickens also need water, grit, and need to enjoy some greens and treats from time to time as well. And now I'm going to be going into your very first recipe. But before I do that, thanks for listening. If you enjoy this content, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also subscribe to our website, thehappychickencoop.com. If you subscribe using the link in the description, you'll receive a free ebook on the 10 best egg-laying chicken breeds. All right, what you've been waiting for. Here is your very first chicken feed recipe. So start out by creating your base. For this recipe, you will need 8 pounds of corn. Corn is great in moderation. It's affordable and can be found anywhere. Chickens love corn, giving them the carbs and fats they need. And then you will also need 8 pounds of field peas. Field peas are also fairly easy to come by. Adding peas gives your chickens more of the protein they need to get them through the day. The next thing is 6 pounds of wheat. This may improve digestion and help prevent coccidiosis. Wheat also provides chickens with carbs and some protein. And lastly, 1 pound of oats or barley. Oats and barley provide chickens with protein and are interchangeable. You can use either oats or barley depending on availability. Some people even sprout their own fodder from barley to give their chickens some extra greens. Think vitamins and fiber. A quick note, oats and barley should not exceed 15% of a chicken's diet. And then there is one last ingredient. So 1 ounce fish meal. This gives chickens an omega-3 kick as well as additional protein. And now as we round out this recipe, Here are the other things you can add if you'd like to supercharge your chicken's feed. 1 ounce salt or mineral salts. If your chickens are confined, they may need minerals added to their feed. Free-range chickens often find what they need on their own, but to be sure, you can add minerals. 1 ounce flaxseed, another omega-3 boost for your chickens and you, actually. More omega-3s in your chicken's diet means more in your breakfast eggs. 1 ounce of kelp. Kelp makes up for the missing vitamins, minerals, and amino acids your chickens may lack in their feed. And lastly, round it out with some crushed eggshells. You can use oyster shells or your own hand-crushed baked eggshells to give them the calcium they need to produce tough eggs. Now, when making your own chicken feed, do not forget these 3. I've already talked a little bit about it, but these are important. First thing is oyster shell. You can also honestly swap these oyster shell and crushed eggshells because they both provide calcium for stronger eggs. The second thing is grit. This helps your chickens digest their food. And lastly, diatomaceous earth. This helps prevent external parasites. Now, I want to have a quick caveat added here. Make sure to get the food grade diatomaceous earth. A quick note, grit and oyster shells are not the same, so be sure your chickens always have access to grit. Otherwise, they are basically unable to digest their food properly. Now, some quick directions for making your own chicken feed. Your chickens will appreciate it if you can grind your ingredients down a bit. They like to eat crumble after all, so take some time to grind the feed into something similar to chicken mash. Grinding will also prevent picky eaters from sorting through the ingredients, picking only the good stuff and throwing the rest into their water fonts. If you have trouble finding these ingredients or you need help determining ingredient ratios, your local feed mill can custom create a feed and grind it to your liking. Yeah, it may be more fun to mix your feed in your own little granary, but there's nothing wrong with enlisting some help. Oftentimes, feed mills have nutritionists on hand to help you create the perfect feed mix based on your chicken's needs. Now let's talk about some insects as treats and protein. Who doesn't love to watch their chickens munch on some special treats from time to time? I know I do. Now, you can either raise your own mealworms, which we've done a video on if you want to check that out, as a fun protein-packed treat for your chickens, or you can order dried mealworms online. You can also swap that out for black soldier fly larvae. Now, raising your own mealworms is actually pretty simple and costs much less than purchasing dried mealworms from the AG store. So be sure to check out our video if you want to do that. There's a whole niche of people out there that love to raise these little insects, and all it takes is a few tubs of oatmeal, some fruit, and cardboard. Add your worms and maintain your little farm. Your chickens will feel like it's Christmas Day every day when you throw them some of these little bugs. So a sense of pride comes with mixing and growing your own homemade chicken feed. Making your own poultry grain mix can be a fun project for you and your kids to do together. It'll also save you some money and teach your kids a skill if you're not around. Whether you decide to take the plunge depends on your access to the resources needed, your budget, and the amount of time you're willing to spend mixing the feed. Now, if you like this video, please be sure to check out this video over here where I will talk about fermenting your own chicken feed. And then also you can check out the playlist down below where I am going to be talking about different chicken breeds. That's going to do it for us here at the Happy Chicken Coop. Thanks for listening. If you find our content interesting, if you learned something new, please be sure to like the video and subscribe. And with that, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.